Dr. Larry Armstrong from Sioux Center, Iowa. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have a family practice with my son and daughter-in-law. Been in practice for over 30 years. 2 years ago, I found a lump on the side of my neck, and it didn't feel right. It was hard, it was firm, and of course it had size. And I didn't think that was a good thing, so we started on a journey to figure out what it was. I knew in the back of my mind that it probably wasn't good. About a month later, after a couple of biopsies, we finally got a good enough sample that registered that it was a pathology, that it was a squamous cell type of carcinoma. And so that led me on a journey to get with a head and neck specialist, which we did, to further investigate what we had to do or what our options were. So we did a PET scan. Before they did the PET scan, unbeknownst to me, they said, well, we've got to make this mold that goes over your face. And so they did. It was to hold you in place. It was kind of unusual, but I went along with it. And that same day, we got together with the specialist and read the PET scan, and it confirmed that I had cancer in the left tonsillar area, my throat, behind my tongue, and also a number of lymph nodes that had cancer on the left side of my neck. The doctor explained what the standard of care was, which was either chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery, or all three. That there was most likely going to be disfigurement that went with it. There may be the inability to eat food normally ever again, but I was going to be alive. So they wanted to move on it immediately, and fortunately for myself, I said, no, I just don't know if I can accept that, and I need to look at some other options. So we went home, and I consulted with colleagues and friends relative to what I just had learned and what they thought and who should I contact. And there had to be other options out there. And so the consensus was to look at immune therapy. And so there were options all over the country, outside the country. And in the process, the Perseus name came up. And it was one night I was just at the kitchen counter with a computer, and I went online and I read everything about Perseus and what they were about and what they were doing, and I go, this is it. And so that night I'm there all by myself. I'm sitting in the kitchen. It's late, and I'm typing in all the information for the initial contact stuff from Perseus. And I got done with that, and I shut the computer off, and I went to bed. And so the next morning, I told my wife, I said what I'd done, and I'm going to wait to hear from these people. And sure enough, very shortly that happened. And that started the process of what they needed. And since I had solid tumor and it was accessible, we could get a sample of that, but it needed to be done and frozen immediately after the surgery, and then sent immediately to Grand Cayman Island to the research facility that Perseus has there. And that all went perfectly well, and we got that done. My specialist was willing to do the procedure, and so then it was probably about a week or 10 days later, we had made travel arrangements to fly to Grand Cayman to start the process of getting the vaccine and the immunization process. And so once we flew down there, we had a beautiful setting, very professional setting. The staff came out and met you at the front door and got examined, drew blood, and they took that blood to do a process to create the serum. And that took about 3 days, maybe 4 days. And we stayed at a hotel right there on the beach. And then they called, said it was ready. So we went back to the research facility and was injected with the first vaccine. No pain, no reaction, nothing. I felt perfectly fine when I got there. I felt perfectly fine when I left. And so we did that 3 more times for the 4 vaccine process. And so it took 4 months. In that time frame, I could tell that the tumors were getting smaller. I could feel it. I kept feeling stronger and stronger. People couldn't believe what I was doing, but I knew that it was the right thing to do. So we finished up and we did an ultrasound, and we could tell just through the ultrasound that the tumors had gotten smaller. And of course, here we are 2 years later. Pretty much through the diagnostic procedures, the smallest tumors are all back to normal. They're normal sized. The largest tumor is cut in half. We feel that's calcified. The tongue looks wonderful. We go and we do a visual camera procedure to look at that. And of course I feel great. It will be 2 years, April 25th. I will do a PET scan, of which I'm sure things will show how good everything is. And of course, my life has been back. I'm going to be a grandfather here for the first time in a couple months. And 2 years ago, I didn't think that was going to happen. So anybody that's viewing this out there, to me, this is the real deal. The research, the stuff that's gone into this that Dr. Wagner has done is just unbelievable. To us, it's the wave of the future. If there are clinicians out there, fellow chiropractors, physicians, naturopaths, and you catch this video, I highly encourage you to explore Perseus. Look at it as a resource relative to your cancer patients, because I'm sure you're seeing them. Those who have solid tumors, it'll be a wonderful thing for them to, if nothing else, look at this as a viable option. If they see it as some sort of option and they have tumor available that's going to either be taken out or that it's available for biopsy, get it done. Get that banked, get it sent down to Grand Cayman. You then have another option. I'm now, since this has all taken place, I have my son and my daughter-in-law in my practice. We couldn't be more pleased. Our patients are obviously amazed, my friends, and that I'm a living testimony to that there are things that are advancing in this scary world of cancer, that how to deal with it, how to get rid of it, and that your life is okay. And I thank you.